what built the government we have today is in the 1930s. It was Roosevelt like dramatically transformed the government. It was a fraction of what it was in the 1920s, a fraction of what it became. Like that was the discontinuous step function. And if you recall what Roosevelt did, which was widely lauded at the time and since, is he put out the call for basically all of the smart young people in the country to put their hands up and volunteer. And if you were a smart, aggressive, it was the Y Combinator of its time, right? The federal government was the Y Combinator of 1933.
New Deal, baby, yes.
The New Deal, right? And literally what they did is Roosevelt basically delegated to Harry Hopkins, like, you got to build this new thing and build all these programs and agencies and do it quickly because of the Great Depression and then World War II. And we don't have the people to do it today because the government is just tiny as compared to what it needs to be. And so you put out the call, and the call is every smart 25, 30-year-old who's good at anything, you bring him to Washington and you create an agency and you put him in charge and you have him go do it. And it's like, Harry, you go electrify the Tennessee Valley, and Mary, you go, create the art grants program, right? And, Ken, you go, build naval warships, right? And these were all people who would be the exact same kinds of people that we have who come into Y Combinator and come into our firm and pitch and start companies. They're smart, young athletes. They haven't spent 30 years studying government. They haven't been, government bureaucrats for, forever. They don't come from a long history of government service, but they're very smart. They're very well educated. They're very good systems thinkers, right? What you really want is somebody who can wrap their head around a complex system. They're really good at understanding incentives. They're really good at understanding how to build things. They're really understanding how to demand high levels of performance. One of the reasons why FDR is such a legend is because the FDR era federal government was actually high performance, right? Like it actually worked, right? Like it did electrify the Tennessee Valley. Well, let's just take that one as an example. The FDR did electrify the Tennessee Valley. The Biden administration did not build electric charging stations. Right. So
right.
It's like, okay. And then it goes back to your question. It's like, okay, who do you assume is going to do a better job building electric charging stations? The mayor of South Bend, Indiana, or the guy who built the electric car, right? So anyway, look, it's definitely a change from how DC has been operating. It's definitely a change from the kinds of people who have been recruited to run these things for the last 40 years. It's hard for me to believe that they're going to do a worse job. It's quite straightforward for me to believe that they're going to do a better job.